Can't be contained.
That's what I'm talking about.
What is up, my loves, and welcome back to the Can't Be Contained podcast. I actually don't have an intro for you right now because I don't know what I'm going to talk about on this podcast yet. I'm going in completely unscripted, and we're just going to trust the arising and see what wants to come through. And I used to do podcasts like this all the time, and they felt so rich and energizing and fun and exciting. So by the time you listen to this, the title will probably have some context. But at the moment, seconds before I'm about to record the podcast, I actually don't know what I'm going to talk about. So we're just going to see what happens. It's going to be a surprise for you and I both, and I am excited. Before we dive in, if you have not secured your Women in Wealth ticket, please go do it now. You probably heard me all over Instagram talking about how epic this event is going to be, but I don't want to convince you to come. I want you to sit with the idea of what would it be like for you to allow yourself to really tap into the highest version of you, receive at the level that you know is just aligned with your heart and your soul, to be able to actually take that dream that's inside of you, that mission that's inside of you, and share it with the world in a way that feels just so good and congruent, not doing it like anyone else does it, but doing it in a way that is just you, like 100% you. That is what we are going to be sharing at Women in Wealth, November 20th and 21st in San Diego. We're going to be doing this beautiful mix of healing and awakening, healing the parts of us that no longer serve us when it comes to our worthiness, when it comes to money, when it comes to receptivity, when it comes to women in business, all of those things. We're going to rewrite the script, and then we're going to tap into what's the new story that we want to create? Who do we want to become? Who do we want to step into? We're going to set these visions that are so electric, so powerful, so magnetic that you feel so inspired to step into it. So much of why we don't achieve the things that we are here to do in this life is because we don't have a compelling future ahead of us. That's like, oh my gosh, this feels so exciting. So we are going to create that. I have a process called the Vision Manifesto, which I'm going to be walking you through. It's the thing I read every single morning and every single evening when I wake up, when I go to bed, to really align me to where I'm going so that I don't get lost. I don't get stuck. I don't get confused. I don't get, I'm not subject to the distractions of this life, and I'm able to stay focused on what I'm doing. So head on over to pausebreathwork.com/wealth, pausebreathwork.com/wealth, or just hit me up on Instagram, send me a DM. I'll send you the link to join us. I would love to hug you and see you in person and party with you and dance with you and cry with you and have so much fun. You will find your people there. If you're someone who's like, yo, I have this thing. I know I'm a black sheep of my family. I know I'm one of the weird ones, but I don't have my people. I don't have my tribe in order to roll with. Come to this event. You're going to find them, and it's going to be amazing. So grab your ticket and I'll see you there. All right. So welcome to my unscripted podcast. Let me just hydrate. I remember back in 2018, 2019, one of my good friends said to me, plan a 2-day event and just show up and just see what happens. He's like, don't plan slides, don't plan your sessions, just show up and see what happens. And it's funny because like the best material that's ever come out of my mouth at that time, this was 2018, happened at that event. It was called Untangled. Maybe some of you listening were there. It was amazing. 2-day event in Vancouver. I remember I woke up on the day of the event. It was like October or November or something in Vancouver. And it was a complete snowstorm, like so much snow in Vancouver that day. And I immediately got like so anxious, like, oh my gosh, people are not gonna be able to get to the theater. I was like freaking out. But it ended up being one of the most extraordinary experiences of my life. And it allowed me to just trust the arising and just trust myself and trust that in the pauses of life and in the spaciousness of life, that's where we actually get to find the goodness of life. When everything is pre-planned, premeditated, we've thought about it. This is what I'm going to say. This is what I'm going to do. We actually strip the magic out of life. And so allowing yourself to just have the openness to just start. I think that's, for so many of us, that's the hardest part. Just start. You don't have to have a plan. You don't have to know what you're doing. You don't have to just go, just do it. Just see what comes up. Like as I'm talking to you right now, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to say next. I don't know. Maybe I'll just sit here for a minute and look stupid because I'm not really sure what's going to come next. But that's all part of the collaboration. And the more I'm on this path of entrepreneurship, the more I'm on this path of just even beyond entrepreneurship, just like a fucking human on this path. It's like we are all making it up as we go. So rather than premeditating and having an agenda for absolutely every single part of our life, can we trust the spaciousness and the openness and let uncertainty not be some scary thing that we need to fear, but let uncertainty be this place of divine innovation, collaboration, opportunity, an opportunity to create something with life. We are collaborating with life. We're collaborating with God moment by moment by moment. And my life radically shifted when I realized I was not doing life, but I was dancing with life. I was dancing with life, and whatever life was giving to me, I wasn't making stories around what it meant about me or my potentiality or if I was good enough, but I was just like dancing with what was coming up moment by moment by moment by moment, and letting the triggers of life be transmuted back into truth, letting the opportunities of life teach me who I am. Let the suffering of life teach me where I'm not free. Whenever we have a blank slate, that is where there's such beautiful opportunity. And I think so often we are afraid to let go of the things that are familiar because we're afraid of that open space. We're afraid of the nothingness. What if the guy doesn't come in? What if the girl doesn't come in? What if I quit that job and nothing else comes? What if I spend money on this and this? We fuel ourselves with fear to the point where we feel stuck. When really the openness is our greatest invitation to create. We are all creators. And when we collaborate with God, those creations are even more energetically rich. When we collaborate with God, life is this masterpiece. So rather than feeling like I'm stuck or I need to cling on to whatever it is, that feeling is scarcity, and scarcity is the biggest illusion we have. We've been programmed to feel scarce. We've been programmed to feel like there's not enough, or it's not enough, or you're not enough. And that is the biggest illusion. And there's so many structures in our world. Thankfully, things are changing a little bit now, but there's so many structures in our world that take us out of being in integrity with trusting ourselves. And so we cling on to things. We hold on to things for far too long. We stay in relationships that are not aligned. We stay in jobs that are not aligned. We're clinging on to our finances as if we're never going to receive wealth again. It's like we bind ourselves to things that are familiar, even though they're suffocating us. The greatest things in my life that has ever happened are when I just went, let me just see what happens. When I was dating my ex, the relationship I had right before Eric, I was so afraid of letting that relationship go because I'm like, I'm 31. Am I going to find the right guy before I have kids? And like there was so much fear in that. And I was fearing it and fearing it and fearing it and fearing letting go and fearing just being, on the market again or whatever. Just like fearing that, like, I don't know. I don't have a backup plan. There's no backup plan to this. Like I know I want to be a mom. I know I want to, have that as part of my life. But like, if I let this thing go, is something else going to come? And I shit you not, literally days after we broke up was when I got the text intro to my now husband. Days. I didn't have to go on a dating app. I didn't have to search. I didn't have to do it was just days. It just happened that way. Because God's plan is always better than your shitty plan. Always. Always. But when we cling to our shitty plan that's broken and not even bringing us happiness, we actually can't allow in the magic, the aligned choice, the aligned partner, the aligned business, the aligned new city that we live in. We can't do it because there's no space. But the issue is we have to create the space for the thing to come in. It's not going to come when you're full. It's not going to come when your calendar has no white space. It's not going to come when you're already in a relationship that you don't want to be in. And I know that can be so fearful. So what I needed to do was I needed to change my relationship to uncertainty. I needed to change my relationship to the pause. There's a reason. There's such a reason why pause breathwork was channeled to me in 2018. It's because I am the greatest student for this mission first. Right? I needed to pause. I needed to breathe. I needed to slow down. Like in 2017, I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. And I was just racing through life, and I was making bad decisions about different things. And this mission over time has taught me that slowing down and having pauses and having spaciousness and having white space is the greatest place to be for the magic to actually drop in. And so ask yourself that question. Maybe you want to journal this tonight over a matcha or a kombucha. Oh, wait, you shouldn't drink those things at night, right? Matcha, caffeine. Have some nice herbal tea. And ask yourself, what's my relationship to uncertainty? And do I actually trust that God's got my back when I do let go of things? Now I'm in a place where I trust that so much. I trust that white space equals magic. When I am uncertain, it means there's something even better on its way. Like this or something better every single day. And I'm trusting that. And I'm orienting my brain to that, which allows me to let go of things that no longer serve me, people that are no longer aligned, place, whatever it is. It's just like letting it go, letting it go, letting it go, letting it go, letting it go. And it's in that white space where I'm like, I'm so stoked to see what God puts in this place. Because I sure as hell don't know. I don't know what's next for me. And we never do. But if we don't have that connection to God, if we don't have that ability to trust, then we're just going to white knuckle and cling on. And then it's going to feel so like we're going to suffocate. It's going to feel like suffering and suffocation all at once. And you're like, why do I feel like shit constantly? Why do I have pains? Why do I think I need to have 2 glasses of wine every single night just to feel okay? It's because we are emotionally constipated with things in our life that don't belong. We're emotionally constipated with things in our life that don't belong. When we don't allow, and here's the thing, why are we emotionally constipated? Because we're allowing our environment to hold things that are no longer aligned. Like that's an old version of you. Let it go. It could be thought patterns. It could be people. It literally could be clothes. Like something that feels super therapeutic to me is like going through my closet and really truly asking myself, would my higher self choose to wear that? Like, is that this version of me, or is that like circa, 2015? Because even that, like, notice your behaviors with clothes. Notice your behaviors with material things. And then notice your behaviors with your identities. Maybe there's identities that you're holding on to because you're like, God forbid I let go of this identity. What's going to happen? I've been having so many conversations with female entrepreneurs recently that are clinging to this identity of more, scale at all costs, letting their ambition override their nervous system because they're afraid to let go of the identity of boss babe, bitch that's killing it on the internet. And so rather than healing that part of us, we continue to suffocate in something that feels like it doesn't fit anymore. Quick little pause here because I need to let you in on something that has honestly changed how I run my business. It was so overwhelming. We had so many different tools, emails, funnels, scheduling things, pipelines, payments. It was honestly such a mess. And then I discovered Go High Level. It's literally an all-in-one platform where I can run my entire business under one roof. You guys, it feels so good to go into one platform and see all of our dashboards, the money that we make, the clients that came in, where everybody is. It is so clean and so easy. The automated follow-ups are amazing. The landing pages are amazing. You can even run your memberships and online programs on Go High Level. It's honestly freaking awesome. It doesn't just save me money. It has given me back my sanity in my business because I have complete clarity and confidence where everything is. So if you've been looking for a way to streamline your business, to scale faster, to remove the headaches of like tech and all of that complication and just get back to doing what you freaking love, I have partnered with Go High Level to give you guys a 30-day experience so you can test drive it yourself, see how you love it. Just head on over to pausebreathwork.com/high level. That's pausebreathwork.com/high level. I will also put the link to the free trial in the show notes. And seriously, once you see how powerful this is, you're going to wonder how you freaking ran your business without it. So go to pausebreathwork.com/high level. Have you ever wore a pair of shoes that are like half a size too small? It hurts. It's like, oh, get these things off my feet. So we're doing all day long. So what are the identities that you are committed to letting go of? That's why I'm so excited to have you all in San Diego in November, because we're going to do some deep work when it comes to energetic identities and restructuring our energetic identities and letting that shit go. Because we are a hologram. We are just creating. We are creating a hologram moment by moment, breath by breath. Your reality is simply just a hologram of what you believe to be true about yourself, about money. Like one of my mentors back in the day said to me, your financial situation, the money that's actually in your bank right now, has everything to do with the belief that you have around money and your worth. And I was like, dang, and it ain't looking very good. It's funny to work with money because it's such a direct reflection of our belief system. And I think it's where people have a lot of charge and stuff as well around, women and money and earning. And like, we get templated these archaic money stories onto us that are just so old. They're not even ours. They're like our dad's dad's dad. That'd be like our quadruple great grandpa, It's like it's not even ours. And I think one of the greatest permission slips that we can give ourselves is to constantly reinvent the wheel, like really reinvent the wheel and ask ourselves, what is the story that I want to have around money? What is the relationship I want to have around money? What is my story around receptivity and what's possible? What is my story about my value in this life? Like, is my value tied to the money that I'm making and the things that I'm doing, or is my value completely separate from anything materialistic or 3D, period? The latter is the truth, right? We are infinitely worthy no matter what, but we live in such a material-driven world where followers and like counts and all that kind of stuff tends to trickle into our conversation around worthiness, which is making us feel depressed and anxious and all the things. So how can we sever those ties and just realize, like, I'm worthy just because I am that I am that I am that I am. I am worthy because I am just a child of God, period, the end. I don't need to do shit. I don't need to do shit. And when we allow ourselves to land in that conversation and we allow ourselves to really embody that truth, then the things that we choose to have in our lives are not in a weird, twisted way meeting our needs, but they're just adding value to what is already true. They're adding value to what is already true. And when our external world is a source of just adding value to what is already whole and true and perfect, then we can be choosy and we can have discernment, right? It's like, if that you are already whole and perfect and true and aligned, you're not going to date someone who doesn't see you in that. You are going to date someone who absolutely sees you in that. Right? If you know that you are whole and perfect and true, and you are going to settle into a level of worth where you're going to actually ask for what you're worth in your coaching relationships, from your employees, vendors, whatever it is. There's going to be a worthiness conversation. There's going to be this feeling of like, oh yeah, I am extremely talented. And then you're going to attract people who see that value. If you don't see that value in yourself, you're just going to attract a bunch of people that don't see that value. Overgivers attract takers. Overgivers attract takers. That's how that relationship works. Well, if you stop being an overgiver, you're not going to attract takers anymore. You're going to attract equal power. And those equal power relationships are so valuable. Those equal power relationships are so valuable. Equal power relationships allow us to create something that where the energy is not kinked. And one of the practices that I have is really going through all of my relationships in my life. Like, I start with my inner circle. Like, I start with like Eric and my family and my close friends and my extended friends. And I keep bringing it out and I bring it out and I bring it out. And if any relationship feels like there's something that's unsaid, right? There's a thing that's unsaid. There's a resentment. There's something in the consciousness. I just write it down in my journal and I make a point of reaching out to that person to have a clearing conversation. Reorganize the energy. Hey, I realize that I've been showing up in this energy, sacrificing this part of me, and now it's creating resentment for me. Can we renegotiate this? Because I don't want to show up in a place of resentment for you. I want to show up where I'm like, yes, let's go. Let's do this. Everything is up for negotiation all the time. And when we renegotiate relationships in our life, they become stronger. They become more vibrant. They become alive. They become connected. Like, there's so much beauty and love and just that we can source from relationships. But if the energy's all kinked, if there's things unsaid, if there's resentments on the table, it's really, really, really hard for us to be in a deep place of trust. It's really hard for us to be in a deep place of trust. It's hard for us to. It really always comes back. In my experience, what I'm learning now is it always comes back down to trust. It's trust in me, trust in God. And I feel like I'm able to take these chances and take these risks and go on a whim and do all these things because I deeply believe in my relation. I deeply believe that I'm God. I'm like, God, you got me? Like, we're doing this? Like, I'm going to do all this crazy shit down on earth, and I'm taking all these chances, financial things like risks. But you got me, and I feel that gotness. I feel it. I'm like, okay, I feel this. This feels good. So then I keep going and keep going. If that was severed, if I didn't have that, I would play so small. I'd be like, I'll just do this little breathwork thing on the side of my State Farm insurance job or whatever it is. And nothing against that if that's what you want to do. I think that's beautiful. This whole conversation comes down to soul alignment. Like I know my soul's not here to play small. Sometimes I wish it was. Sometimes I'm like, bitch, chill out. I'm tired. I'm just kidding. Sometimes I wish my soul was just like a little more tame, but she ain't. Okay. God inserted some crazy ass programming in this human body. And I know the truth of my soul is I'm here to like, when it comes to breath work, whatever that means, I'm like, let's get breath work in the hands of all the humans all around the world. Like that feels so important and so big to my soul. And I've asked myself this question, like, is this ego? Is there an ego play at this? Like, why do I want this? Why? And it always comes down to soul truth for me. And I honestly think if it didn't, I would probably quit like so long ago because it's hard. It's hard to come face to face with your triggers every single day. It's hard to keep going when you're like, oh, I totally fucked this up. But my soul is here to do a certain mission. And I'm like, I signed up for this. I get this. And because of that, I'm like, I know that I'm supported in that. And I think this is one of like, honestly, like the greatest business, like quote unquote business advice I could give people is just that. Find the thing that your soul is so lit up about and don't compromise. Because when you find that thing, everything else truly becomes figure outable. Like I have gone through the gnarliest business challenges in the last 3 years, you guys. Like it's been crazy, but I don't stop. Like never once was I like, I'm done. Like maybe I had moments where I was like on the bathroom floor, bawling my eyes out, and Eric comes in, he's like, you good? I'm like, I'm so done, but I'm not. Because after I metabolize that energy and after I complete that cycle of activation, I come back to the truth of the truth of the truth, which is like, I'm not done. I'm not going to be done until I'm dead. And I think I know if I didn't have that, I would have opted out. I would have unsubscribed a long time ago. So that is some of the best business advice I could ever give you, ever, is find the thing that lights you up and follow the energy and do the thing that your soul is here to do, because it is the guiding light to sustainability and momentum. And I am constantly being fueled by that mission all day, every day. Okay. I hope that was valuable for you guys. My completely unscripted, purely channel, let's just see what comes up. I'm going to do this in the next podcast, okay? The next solo episode will also be in this style because Skelly does not like to plan things. It takes away the magic a little bit. Anyway, I can't wait to see you in San Diego. It's going to be the biggest party of all time. Yo, if you are listening to this podcast and you love this podcast and you haven't yet given a review, I would absolutely love you if you did. I love you anyways. You don't have to do anything. But if you want to and you feel inspired to, give her a little review. It actually does help the little robots in there to say, show this podcast to more people. Or send it to a friend and let them know that you got value out of this and you love them and want them to get value out of it. Either way, I love you so much and we'll see you next time.